What's cracking, guys? Bruce Matson here, your host show of Metric Scout Fantasy Football, and today we're going to be covering the Dynasty running back rankings for KeepTradeCut.com. We're going to be going over the list. If you haven't experienced KeepTradeCut.com's services before, this is a crowdsourced website. They ask you questions throughout your experience there. They use those questions however they do it to filter, sort their rankings, and that's how they get the values. A lot of people are skeptical using it. Some people love it. Some people hate it. It is what it is, but I'm here to look at it, and we're going to go over those values right now. Here we are. I got the Dynasty rankings pulled up. We're looking at the running backs today. First thing you see, Jonathan Taylor, the top running back on the list, should be the top running back on anybody's list. Javonte Williams, number 2. Najee Harris, number 3. The rookies, the young guys, 21 and 24 years old. DeAndre Swift, 4. That seems pretty consensus these days. Younger running backs who are getting full workloads. Javonte Williams, speculation on a full workload, but probably will be. Najee Harris, definitely getting a full workload. DeAndre Swift. So all these running backs are here getting a sizable workload. DeAndre Swift more in the passing game, more in the target side. However, we roll down here, we got Christian McCaffrey. You notice that value slipped a lot throughout last season, mainly due to the injuries over the last couple of years, really. He's 25 years old. He's at that midline point of his career where things could go either way. He could continue being a baller, or he could lose some value, could fall on his face more. We don't know. But really, value-wise, when he's on the field healthy, he could give you about 30 points per game, especially if they get a big change at the quarterback position in Carolina. That makes sense. Here, the next player, a rookie, Breece Hall. And I was thinking about it. Where's Breece Hall is fitting into this with the community, with the values. It doesn't matter if we like it or not. It's just how the values are, how the market is. And over at DynastyLeagueFootball.com, I think he's like RB19 on the ADP. Here, he is RB6. And I imagine, considering what we're experiencing here with the running backs, it's going to be a big reset here. We got some guys who are 25 and older. A lot of those guys are going to be falling off the map sooner than what we realize. A few of those guys that are going to kick the can down the road and still be well. But we also have some of these younger guys. You see this on the list. 23, 24, 23, 21. Some of these younger guys on here that are on the list here, some of those guys are going to fall as well. Some of those guys are going to produce. That's just how running back works. It's just how all positions work. Breece Hall here, though, projected to be the first running back off the board here in the 2021 draft. Get draft capital, get touches early in his career. We're just going to have to roll with that. We're just going to have to roll that. Young running backs who get workload are going to be expensive. Whether you value that or not, that just is what it is. They're going to be expensive. Joe Mixon, after that, again, Bengals. All Bengals are going to be expensive. They got the Joe Burrow effect. You're talking about Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon. Everybody in that offense, it's going to get fueled and it's going to be valued in Dynasty and basic fantasy football. Austin Eckler, 26 years old, still being valued 34 overall in the drafts. And again, high-end producer, catches the ball in the backfield. And again, is he going to fall? Is he going to hold steady? We don't know. J.K. Dobbins, Nick Chubb looks like a good value. Dobbins here, the speculation, it's baked into his value right now. Like, the best time to buy him was probably in season last year when it was a little longer for him to debut again after the injury. Now you're going to see his value ramp up a little bit. You're going to see that in Dynasty League Football ADP. You're going to see that here. You're going to see it quicker here. You're going to see it by the day. But over in other ADPs on the other sites, you're going to see Dobbins ramp up. The time to buy him was almost a year ago, was right after that injury and also throughout the season when he was collecting 0 points for his manager's team, and you could have gave that manager something to help him get through the season if that was even an option, because a lot of people are holding him with a death grip. Nick Chubb, one of the best pure runners in football, 26 years old, past or at the age apex, however you want to look at that. So how many years he got left in the tank, we don't know. Dalvin Cook, former first-round running back. Now he is falling in value. 26 years old. Injuries are heavy in his career. Had a heavy injury history early in his career, and a lot of Dynasty gamers are weighing that into his value. We could see him fall off the map like that sometime. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but you don't know. And as he gets older, it's like a falling knife in Dynasty. You can still use him for production, but that's how this happens in Dynasty. Same thing with Alvin Kamara. Offense is in flux. You don't know what the quarterback's going to be. He's 26 years old. He's about at the age apex. And Dynasty gamers like younger running back. Same thing here with Derrick Henry. Last year when he was healthy on the field, he was the RB1. He was outproducing Jonathan Taylor. Even at Jonathan Taylor's best, he was outproducing that. If he does that again this year, for the short term, that could be a big-time value. Saquon Barkley, 25 years old. This dude looked like the Messiah coming out of college. Injuries, bad offense at New York really derailed his career, slowed him down. But with that kind of talent, things could pick back up any moment, any time. So this is a good buying opportunity as well. We got some buying opportunities here on the veterans. David Montgomery, still only 24 years old. Feels like he's been in the league forever. But yes, a guy that we could probably get at a good discount here is getting a full workload, getting receptions out of the backfield. Cam Akers, speculation running back who is hella expensive, and honestly, I see him go in drafts higher than this over some of these guys who are ahead of him. So right here, I feel like the consensus on keep trade cut actually has him at a discount. I imagine they'd have him pumped up a little bit more. Kenneth Walker, I think if Kenneth Walker goes to a good spot, I would bump him up maybe ahead of Jacobs Montgomery, and there could be a push for him to make it around ETN, Dalvin Cook, Chubb area. But it really depends on where he goes in the draft, where he gets selected, where we expect his touches to be like. But I imagine he's going to get a value boost. A younger running back who is going to get the opportunity to succeed, post a good 40 times at the combine. There's just a lot of good things going on for him. 1,600-yard rusher, mega productive, good vision, good contact balance. There's just a lot of good things in his profile. A.J. Dillon right after him. Aaron Rodgers is back, fuels the offense. At any moment, he could be the lead back. So, yes, that is a good spot for him. Elijah Mitchell, big-time rookie last year, just 23 years old. Isaiah Spiller right behind him. I can see Isaiah Spiller jumping a few spots if he goes to the right team, gets the right amount of draft capital. Aaron Jones right behind them, along with Michael Carter. I think Michael Carter is going as a value in drafts. I feel like if you're looking for a running back that's cheap, if you're going later round running back, like a middle round or whatever, mid running back value or whatever you want to call it, because you went wide receiver heavy, like first 3 rounds or whatever, Michael Carter could be a guy you're looking at. He's only 22 years old, gets targets in the passing game, could give you a little bit of upside, could fuel you for a little bit. Aaron Jones, cheap right now. I imagine they're going to bump him up since Rodgers is back. I could see him going up a few slots here. Even though he's older, he's 27. I wouldn't straight up hate on all the old guys. I would just be very speculative. Like Zeke Elliott here. We see him slowing down. We see the large cap numbers. We see that. We know the bottom's coming out soon. We know it's happening. We know he's due for a big-time injured season as well. Not all running backs go through their career with a season that doesn't allow them to be nicked up. That's just the odds. I mean, you can't predict injuries, but you can tell for a running back, if they're with their team for a long time, more than likely they're just going to have that season where they're nicked up a lot. He hasn't had that much, but it's due. He's had some issues in his career that prevented him from being on the field. He's had some injuries that he's played through, but he hasn't had that one season where he had the ACL. He hasn't had that bad injury year, and he has been looking slower by the year. I get it, injuries, all that, but it's coming to a toll on him. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, how low can he go? He was the 101 in rookie drafts. He was a first-round startup draft pick a while ago, a fringe first rounder. I think he was up there, though. A lot of people had him over Jonathan Taylor. He's biting a lot of people. He may be becoming a discount. He may be just becoming a bust as well. He keeps falling. Miles Sanders down there, which is pretty interesting because a lot of people were on to him early in his career. Has some passing chops. Could be a big value here in fantasy. Could be a big one, especially if this team transitions and he has a healthy season and starts getting workload. Is he a guy that you're pegging for that? No, but where you're drafting him at, you're not really pegging him for that anyways. Tony Pollard, Damian Harris are other speculation plays. Harris for the Patriots had some good moments last year. Pollard had some moments, but can he handle a full workload? How long is Zeke going to be in the fold? How long that's going to look? Who knows? Also, he's not a young guy either. He's 24 years old. However, he's a backup right now. Once he gets his opportunity, if he gets his opportunity, he's going to be an older guy, and then his value is going to be down. So there's just a lot of things you want to look at here. Lenny Fournette, Kareem Hunt might be on the move. Devin Singletary down here. Alexander Madison. Melvin Gordon. Where's he going to be at? Will he be back in Denver? Maybe. Maybe keep some continuity in the offense. Him and Javonte was a good 1-2 punch in real football. Fantasy gamers hate it, but that's in the fold. Alexander Madison, decent buy here considering Dalvin Cook is an injury away from him getting a full workload, so not too bad. Kenneth Gainwell, another decent buy considering his burst and speed. Khalil Herbert, a lot of people on to him. Same with Darrell Henderson and Chase Edmonds. We're getting down here on the list. Cordell Patterson, whatever you view him as. Zamir White, 195 overall in drafts. You can see his value trail going up a little bit. He is going to jump these boards. He's going to jump, especially where we see him get selected in the draft. I feel like he's going to get good draft capital. I feel like he is going to be a big-time value. If you're in startup drafts and he's falling 200 overall, 180, 150, 160, 170, somewhere around there. If he's falling, you got to snatch him up. I would snatch him up before a lot of these backups. Same thing here with Rachaad White. Kind of skeptical on him. But again, these rookie running backs who are kind of valued here, you may want to get them now while they're at discount. Because once they get drafted and once we know where they're at, their value could go up. If they go to a bad spot or fall in the draft, their value might even stay the same because they're pretty far down here. Let's go to the next page here. Tyler Algier, another guy that you want to buy up. Oh, here's one of the crowdsourcing questions. Lamar Jackson, Najee Harris, Trey Lance. Keep, trade, cut. I'm guessing Superflex. I don't know. I don't want to look into this. I want to keep him. I'll trade Najee. I'll cut Lance. I don't know. We're just doing this. We're moving on with content. Tyler Algier, another guy I'm buying. Myles Gaskin. Good guy to have on your roster. Guy I don't want long term. Maybe not even for the year. Really depends on what Miami does. Again, we're getting a lot of value plays. Things are getting a little nasty here. Jarrett Patterson's always been a guy I've had my eye on. Brian Robinson, I look for him to be a guy that gets higher draft capital than expected. Teams play the Alabama tax, could create some value for him. You want to look at that. These rookies here. There's a lot of ambiguous rookies in this draft who might hit or might get more draft capital than expected, see an increase in value. If you're in startup drafts right now, you got your rookies in your startup draft, which you should. You should be nailing these rookie running backs later in the draft because they're a good value, and they're the ones that could hit or give you an influx in value that you weren't expecting. Chris Evans is a buy for me. I've been getting him a lot in drafts and leagues. I've been promoting him on the channel like crazy. Catches the ball in the backfield, has good size. Again, Samaje Perine's there. We saw that in the Super Bowl. Eventually, Evans, if he keeps doing well, they're going to get him on the field more, especially if something happens to Mixon and things happen to running backs. Again, you want to just keep buying these rookies up. Not all of them. I don't love all of them, but you want to keep buying them up. Kevin Harris, friend of the show. Hassan Haskins, Jaron Ely. A lot of these guys, they're not projected to be a big thing, but they have like these little things in their profile that could allow them to bump up in value. And here, Jamar Jefferson, late round guy from last year's draft, a lot of people like. I like him too. I was expecting more from him, but he fell in the draft and did not look good. Plus, DeAndre Swift's there. DeAndre Swift's healthy. He's getting the touches. We're rounding out this. Again, rookies. You want to be pounding rookies late in your drafts. Pierre Strong is going to be the small school running back that we're going to have our eyes on. Wherever he goes, we're going to see where he's at on the depth chart. Abram Smith didn't run at the combine, but size adjusted speed might be there. Production was there. About 1,600 rushers on him at night. It's another guy you want to look at. There's just running backs here. Jerick McKinnon is too cheap. He might be a featured piece in the Chiefs' offense if they bring him back, if they use him. Again, if you're not into Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a bust, Jerick McKinnon is your caveat here. He's the guy you may want to look at, and he's free. He's free. Why not? You can't buy him. You just pick him up. And in trades, you just say, hey, add in Jerick McKinnon, we're good. He's a good add-in option. He would really be a good piece for your dynasty teams. I think that's it for these rankings. Let me know who you think's overvalued, who you think's undervalued. What do you think about these rookies and how they're mixed in to the rankings here? I get it. Not all of you guys are on board with keep, trade, cut and how these are curated, but there is some information that we can lean off of. It is a look with some of the values, and you want to look at values from all different angles because you may jump in a league where they value these players differently than you, and they might be valuing from the site. So you really just want to keep your head up, eyes open, and just look at everything, paint in broad strokes, and just be aware. But that's everything I got for you today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Every subscription matters. It fuels me to keep pumping out this content. Fuels me to keep helping you with the rookie drafts, your dynasty teams, and everything else. Again, I want to thank you, and I'll catch you next time.